the next book, about which I'm very excited. I know I'm excited about all of them, but I like this because it's very tricksy, and it's... What did Winston Churchill say? It's a riddle inside an enigma. You know, it's sort of like, oh, I've solved it. Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. It's called the Bosch Deception. Now, that basically sums it up. It's about Hieronymus Bosch. Now, we all know about Bosch, everybody. Now, that's a good one, talking about people reading Freudian things into what people painted. His brief, actually, was quite simple with Hieronymus Bosch. He was hired by the church, which at that time had a stranglehold on the actual country, Brabant, and also on the people, you know. And he was hired, and basically they said, look, put the fear of God up, everybody. Because people weren't reading then. Even in a prosperous country like Brabant, very few people actually read. Books were terribly expensive. So the only way you could actually get educated and find out about what was going to happen to you in the afterlife, because most people's lives weren't that good, they longed for the afterlife, is if you then turn to the church. And the church put the paintings up on the walls in the same way you do in a movie theatre. And you looked at the paintings, and the paintings told you, if you're a very, very good person, this is what will happen, and you will get roses and flowers and nice things. And if you're a bad person, you'll go to hellfire and damnation. Now, Hieronymus Bosch, which is why he fascinates me, to come back to why I wrote the Bosch Deception, is the fact that he really did extrapolate this 50 times on, didn't he? He sort of went, well, this is what's going to happen to you, and then woo! And you think, what was he smoking? Because the stuff that he painted was to frighten people, but it is so extraordinary. He is, quite seriously, a one-off. And the thing that fascinates me the most is that he is an enigma. We don't know anything about Bosch. We know his birth date. We know perhaps his death date. We know possibly he married this woman with loads of money, clever Bosch. But aside, and that he was working for the Brotherhood of St. Mary, which was sort of a, part of the church. But aside from that, there's very little known. Now, that in itself, I know it's the late Middle Ages, but that fascinates me. Why do you have somebody who is very, very well known in his own life across Europe? Why is he so elusive? Which is what fascinated me about writing about him, and also which gave me a tremendous leeway, because nobody knows anything about him, you see. So I could sort of let my imagination run riot. And it was lovely writing about the late Middle Ages. I haven't done that period before. So to have the late Middle Ages, where we're going back with the parts about Bosch, and then to have it tied into a very hard-hitting contemporary story, which involves the church and the art world now, yeah, it was terrific to write. I had to make millions and millions of notes because it was so complicated, but I enjoyed it. I hope everybody who reads it enjoys it too.